Hi, we're on the air now, and we welcome you to Steve's Sporty Balls, as always, live from the fourth floor, uh, Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios here at Park Forest Apartment Complex. I am your humble host, Steve the Baxman Baxley, and one of these days, these boots are going to walk all over Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know why I say that, but I do. Anyway, let's get on with this papachulo of a show because we got a lot to talk about tonight, folks. Anyway, on the list tonight, we got an update on tonight's Thursday game, which, as many of you know, the rabbi said would be Tampa 31, Atlanta 10, and me and Uno decided to take him up on that strange, obnoxious bet. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, and we also Thursday night means we have the rabbi's predictions. Why now do we screw up at this moment? Okay, boom. I'll just show you. That's a little bit of what I've been doing lately. Little something we like to call a little arctage. And in my hand, the rabbi's predictions. Saturday, he will join us. Saturday, he has this. He gave this to us immediately on fax. So we're good. Friday night, we'll give it all to you, folk. We will give it to you all. We will give it all to you. Yes, indeed. We certainly will. Anyway, do we have anything more here? More pervert than ever? Anyway, we're good? We're good. Okay, thank you. Waste 2 minutes getting things on the air. So we're already at 10:05. We've done somewhat of a barking monologue, and yes, we are here on the Desi Lou Productions microphone. So if we can get everything together in a big old vat of harmony, there we go. Let's give it to you. Hey, Nancy, how are you, love? How's the hubby? How's Matthew? Anyway, how's all y'all? Okay, first let's get to you. We got a lot here, but let's give you the score of tonight's Thursday night game. And gosh dog it, damn that rabbi. Where is his score? Oh, there it is. Okay, the rabbi predicted 31-10, and right now it's 24-17. Holy. Anyway, 24-17, 12 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third. And the Falcons have the ball. First and 10 on Atlanta's 21. So they got a lot to do. So we'll give you an update. If anything else happens, we will update you with scores. And on the Friday night quarterback, we'll give you all the details as to what the fluke happened. But right now, speaking of what the fluke happened, leave us to this. Wisconsin running back Chez Mellusi is stepping away from the team in an attempt to heal from injuries. The team announced on Thursday, Mellusi leads the Badgers in carries with 56 yards with 232 and is tied with Oklahoma transfer Tawee Walker for the team lead in rushing touchdowns. The team made a statement, quote, saying, "We want to let people know that Chez is going to be stepping away from the team for now and is working to get his body healthy. He's endured many injuries and has worked extremely hard to be able to play this year, but his body hasn't responded the way we expected. We're here to support Chez any way we can and hope he'll be back on the football field again one day." That was a good read, wasn't it? Since he's already used his redshirt season, Malusi would likely need to produce medical documentation of an injury that prevents him from playing to receive another year of eligibility from the NCAA. Oh, my lack of sanity. Malusi started his career at Clemson, played 2 years with the Tigers before transferring to On Wisconsin, let us drink a beer. He has rushed for 2,254 yards in a career that has been hampered by injuries. His best season came in 2021 when he played in 9 games, rushed for 817 yards, and scored 5 touchdowns. 5. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. He logged in a career-high 149 yards on the ground in the Badgers' upset of number 25 Purdue that year. The loss marks another major blow to the Badgers' offense. Wisconsin lost starting quarterback Tyler Van Dyke to an ACL tear in the team's September 16th loss to Alabama. Walker, Cade Iacomelli, and Darian Dupree likely all see more work in Malusi's absence. Iacomelli is second on the team in rushing yards with 153 and first by far in yards per carry at 7.1 or 71. I think that's supposed to be 71. Okay. Wisconsin hosts Purdue Saturday at noon. Cha-cha-cha. Okay, wow, we've gotten 2. We got about maybe 3 more. Let's get to this one. This is the lone wild card game. Everyone else is already swept, but this is the third game. Third game? Pasa? Game 3 wild card. It is final, and the Mets have eliminated the Brew Crew 4-2, winning the Sierras 2-game 2-1. So they will meet the Atlanta Braves. Anyway, okay, so that's going to be something to see. Okay, let's keep going on the limit going. Beep bop boop bop boop bop boop bop. Okay, the folks of the media have gone through. Well, it's not preseason yet, but the 2024 offseason grades, player movement, etc. Let's give you the results. The Atlanta Hawks. Well, let's see. The Atlanta Hawks, I'll do this fast, in Zachariah Riazer, Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr., Vit Krejci, David Roddy, Coley Zeller, Dominic Barlow, Nikolai Juristic, Seth Lundy out, DeJounte Murray, Sadiq Bey, AJ Griffin, EJ Little, Bruno Fernando, Dylan Windler, and Trent Forrest. The offseason grade by Sam Quinn. And who is this Sam Quinn that we're all, come on, get back there. Get back. Let's get back here. CBS Sports NBA analyst Sam Quinn gives us his grades. And Sam's grade was a C+. Boston Celtics in Jason Tatum, Derek White, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, Xavier Tillman, Nehemias Queta, J.D. Davidson, Lonnie Walker the third. No, Lonnie Walker the fourth, excuse. IV is 4. What the IV is for depends on where you are. It's a hospital. It helps you be healthy. If it's basketball, it helps you try to win another title. Baha. Out is Sil Mikhayev. And the offseason grade for the Boston Celtics, B+. Brooklyn Nets in Nick Claxton, Keon Johnson, Trendon Watford, Bojan Bogdanovic, Killian Hayes, Shake Milton. And if you shake Milton, you'll shake anything. And Zaire Williams out, Mikal Bridges, Keita Bates-Diop, and Lonnie Walker the fourth. And they get an A. The Nets get an A. By God, by golly. Charlotte Hornets, Tijan Saloon, Miles Bridges, Seth Curry, Josh Green, Taj Gibson, Harry Giles, and KJ Simpson. Out their spot is Davis Bertans, Bryce McGowan's, Alexei Pokusevsky, JT Thor. No, I don't think he's Thor. I think he's well done. Okay, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. But you gotta admit, even bad jokes can be funny. Are you Thor? No, I'm just the God of Thunder. That's Thor. No, I'm upliving. Anyway, okay. Amari Bailey and Leaky Black. That's his name, Leaky Black. Don't believe me? See, there it is, right there. One testimony here. There it is, Leaky Black. There is a guy named Leaky Black. Do we have a Biggie picture here? Yeah, there he is, right there. And what does that name say? Leaky Black. There's no automatic focus on this thing. So trust me, there's his name, Leaky Black. Okay. Okay, let's keep going on this. See, for the Charlotte Hornets, Chicago Bulls had Josh Giddey, Jalen Smith, Patrick Williams, Matas Bozilis, Chris Duarte, Adama Sanogo, Taylor Horton Tucker, Kenneth Lofton Jr., and E.J. Liddell, excuse him, one. Out, DeMar DeRozan, Alec Caruso, Andre Drummond, Javonte Green, and Henri Drell. And they got a C-. Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. Here's the end. Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, Jalen Tyson, Tristan Thompson, JT Thor, free agent, two-way. Who knew? And Imani Bates were in. Out, Marcus Morris and Damian Jones, the offseason grade, B-. Dallas Mavericks in Klay Thompson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Quentin Grimes, Najee Marshall, Markieff Morris, Brandon Williams, Melvin and Ajinka, and out Josh Green, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Derek Jones, the offseason grade, B. Yay. Hard on for a minute. Had something in my nose. Denver Nuggets have Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric, DeAndre Jordan, Vlarko Kankar, Deron Holmes II out, Contavious Caldwell Pope, former Piston, Reggie Jackson, Colin Gillespie, and Jay Huff. They got a D from Sam Quinn. Ooh, how about the Pistons? How good were they? How good are they? Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio, Bobby Clintman, Wendell Moore Jr., Paul Reed out, James Wiseman definitely wasn't. Taj Gibson, Quentin Grimes, Malcolm Malachi Flynn, Buddy Boheim, Jared Roden, Stanley Umude, Chisme Mitu, and Evan Fournier. Their grade was a C. We'll give you the rest of the class coming up on tomorrow's broadcast. It ain't good, it ain't bad, it's progress. Okay, our NFL report. Yeah, we do have an NFL report. The drastic difference in play in September begs the musical question. Did the Bears make the wrong decision drafting Caleb Williams number 1 overall instead of Jaden Daniels? Each passer is a mere 4 games into his NFL career. If this was a movie, it would be in the opening scene, and no one in their right mind would concretely judge a movie strictly on what transpires in the flick's first 5 minutes. But first impressions often matter. That opening scene can have a lasting impact. It can set the stage for everything else. Sure, it's early, so my answer to this is it has to be. It's fluid. Yet it wouldn't have been too early to make a determination. A season ago, in the same scenario, when C.J. Stroud started with a quarterback rating of a 100.6 with an 8.03 yards per attempt average in his first 4 contests compared to Bryce Young's 77.0 rating and yards per attempt of 5.21. By the way, Daniels' rating is currently 107.4. His yards per average, or yards per attempt, is 8.5. Williams' passer rating, 72, and his yards per attempt is 5.6. For the record, no one believes Williams will become Young 2.0. He's much more naturally gifted as a thrower and an improviser, but the production differences are 1 month into their rookie campaign. They're eerily similar. And that's right. What stands out? The accuracy numbers, but it's important to not view those as binary, because it is just strange. The average depth of target matters. Those numbers together encapsulate a completely different offensive philosophy in Washington and Chicago. Get a load of this. Caleb Wilson, adjusted completion percentage, 72.6. That's 27th. Jalen Daniels, 84.6. That's first. Average depth of target, Caleb Wilson, 8.5, tied for 8th. Jalen Daniels, 6.4, tied in 32nd. How about the pressure rate? 32.7% for Caleb. That's 20th best or 20th worst, either way. Jalen Daniels, 30.9% for 23rd. Pressure to sack percentage for Caleb, 30.2, 30th. And for Jason Daniels, 20.9, 17th. Now, the average depth of target matters. Those numbers together encapsulate a completely different offensive philosophy in Washington and Chicago. Commanders' offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury has prioritized easy, high-percentage throws for Daniels out of the gate, and he's taken them. The Bears have done the opposite, leaning more on Williams' live arm and natural aggressiveness as a passer, and the number 1 overall pick has stayed true to form, often attempting deeper those with average results. To hammer home this disparity, it's just wild. Believe me. Daniels is seeking more separation than any other quarterback in football to date, which of course can come from individual pass-catching options, winning their one-on-one matchups, and said skill position players being schemed up. The separation Williams has witnessed is right about at league level, which of course indicates it's been more difficult for him as a passer, but it's worth noting his accuracy has been below average. We're not done yet. We got the other half, the destroy rate, which explains the caption. Note the location of Daniels and Williams here. Currently, Daniels has the lowest destroy rate among qualifying quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's not creating problems for himself or the Commanders' offense when they're not there to begin with. Williams, on the other hand, is destroying the play at an almost identical rate to Deshaun Watson. Oy vey. In this case, we're not focusing on EPA, particularly because we're isolating the play of the quarterbacks, because EPA is an offense statistic, not simply a quarterback one. The destroy rate, though, yeah, it's been big time different. Today, the running element at the quarterback position cannot be ignored, and Daniels has been considerably better than Williams on the ground, too. The Commanders rookie leads the NFL with 23 scrambles through 4 games. Those have accumulated 168 yards and 9 first downs. Williams has only scrambled 7 times for a very respectable 68 yards with 3 rushing first downs. At Oklahoma and USC, Williams' creativity eluding defenders was the part of the many Patrick Mahomes' comparisons, but there was no doubting who, between Williams and Daniels, was the more dynamic running threat. In 2023 at LSU, Daniels ran for 1,134 yards at a seismic 8.4 yards a carry. Bears will absolutely should have known, and likely did, that they were choosing the less threatening design run scrambling talent when they drafted Williams with the first pick. But for as much of a necessary luxury as plus mobility has become a quarterback in the NFL, throwing is still one aspect on which success hinges most. However, to counter what Daniels can do with his legs, accumulating yardage, not just evading defenders behind the line, Williams has to be that much better a passer. It's critical. Keep that in mind, folks. And I don't believe it to be purely coincidental that Williams had his best performance to date by passer rating, which was 106.6 in the Week 4 win over the Rams, which Keenan Allen was back on the field. A season ago, Allen had 108 catches for over 1,200 yards with the Chargers. According to FantasyPoints.com, Allen finished 4th in the NFL in separation score among the 64 receivers who ran at least 400 yards. That new metric is simply an average of how well a receiver gets open or doesn't based on a grading scale on every qualifying route. And he currently ranks 23rd in separation score among the 188 wideouts who've run for at least 40 routes. Allen is still as savvy of a route runner as they come. And he's played 38 snaps in the season-opening win over the Titans, catching 3 passes for 19 yards and 41 snaps in Week 4's victory over the Rams, catching 4 passes for 29 yards. Right now, I couldn't say whether or not the Bears made the wrong decision, but if we're comparing opening scenes, Daniels has been the more well-conceived superstar that Williams wants to be. And with that, folks, we're going to take a brief time out. We shall return in a moment with more excitement, more fun. Give us about 2 minutes. We shall return. I wish we could play music. We'll be back. And welcome back. How you doing, Matt, Ed, and Eddie? How's everything? How's life, the universe? Total Recall? Any other movies you can think of? Anyway, let's see. We're at 10. We're at 10:30. Yay. Okay. Let's give you an update on the big game, as we like to call it, the big game, the big enchilada, the big Durango, the big hoosey booshy. So let's see how things are doing between the Falcons and the Bucks. And the score is right now we're about 1:17 left to play in the third. Falcons have the ball, 1st and 10 on Atlanta's 30. It is 27-20. Buccaneers by 7. So this game is getting awfully close. Oh, is it ever? It is getting close. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's get back on track here and let's go to the amazing mystical NCAA collage football. We've already did that story. Here we go. This is going to be an interesting read and an interesting speech, but here we are. Greg Sankey dismisses college football commissioner proposal, says centralized power would dumb down SEC. Gee, who'd have thunk? With ever-changing conference lineups, complicated web of state laws governing NIL, and transfer rules that vary by league, many fans, coaches, athletic directors, and media members have called for some sense of top-down order in college football. For some, that could possibly come in the form of a college football commissioner who could wield power and settle disputes between schools and conferences. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey is not one of those people. During an appearance on the Triple Option podcast, Sankey said centralizing power in college football would only be an attempt by the rest of the sport to catch up with the SEC. In recent days, College Sports Tomorrow Advisory Group released a proposal they call the College Student Football League. Under the proposed structure, the FBS would be reorganized into 2 conferences, one comprised primarily of power conference teams, with much of the Group 5 settling into another. The project has a handful of high-profile backers, including billionaire Jimmy Haslam, Tennessee AD Danny White, and West Virginia President Gordon G. However, there's little reason for Sankey and the SEC would agree to such an agreement as the league hoards record profits. The Big Ten and SEC teams are set to make potentially double per school as the ACC and Big 12 in coming years, after adding several top members of the Pac-12 and Big 12 through realignment. The consolidation of wealth has come as the sport undergoes massive changes at every level. The SEC poaching Big 12 founders Oklahoma and Texas created a tidal wave of conference realignment, still reverberating for leagues such as Mountain West, AAC, and Pac-12. Sankey's comments were these. I think there's possibly more than of that commissioner possibility happening now because of the disdain for what's happened in some compartments. But just having a commissioner wouldn't solve the transfer portal and legalities around that. It would solve the name, image, and likeness issue. It wouldn't resolve lawsuits, so we'd have to deal with what's in front of us, end quote. His comments come with the backdrop of a meeting between SEC and Big Ten athletic directors in Nashville. The leagues are reportedly planning to discuss issues from college football playoff format to scheduling agreements. More notably, they're doing it without input from any of the other major players, including the Big 12 and the ACC. Sankey said, "It's not as if we're just going to unilaterally change the world in the athletic directors meeting, but we do need to talk about issues around the legal settlement to the extent we're permitted to legally. We're not going to meet the challenges in front of us in big rooms filled with people." That's true. That is totally true. Mhm. Is it raining or is it just me? I think it's raining. Can somebody confirm rain here in Jackson? I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit paranoid. I don't know. But so here's another little Pac 12 shindig for y'all. Fresh off the addition of Gonzaga, football only, the Pac 12 is pausing its pursuit of new members as it enters a media rights evaluation for the 8 current schools it has committed to the conference, sources told CBS Sports on Wednesday. The evaluation, led by sports and entertainment consulting firm Navigate, could last until the end of the year. It will be conducted with multiple hypothetical lineups and membership possibilities as the conference attempts to outline all possibilities and potential revenue growth within the reformed league, which is set to launch in 2026. Sitting at 7 members in football, the Pac 12 needs at least one more full time member to meet NC2A guidelines to be recognized as an FBS conference. Gonzaga announced Tuesday its intention to leave the WCC for the Pac 12 as a member in all sports but football. The Pac 12 has fielded interest from several universities and that is expected to continue, but the conference is not expected to offer membership until the evaluation is completed. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State, man, they're all states, announced their exits from the Mountain West for the Pac 12 in September, sending a ripple effect of realignment rumors across the West. American Athletic Conference schools, Memphis, South Florida, Tulane, and UTSA, recommitted to their conference after discussions with the Pac 12 last week. Memphis seriously considered jumping to the Pac 12, but opted to remain after a request for more money from the Pac 12 to help offset an AAC exit fee hit a roadblock. The buyout figure in the AAC is believed to be nearly $20 million. The Pac-12 previously estimated a new media deal could land between $12 and $15 million, according to Yahoo Sports. ACC teams are paid around $8 million through its media contract with ESPN, which is set to expire 2032. Before the Pac-12 imploded in 23, the conference was shopping its media rights to multiple partners in an effort to keep membership happy before mass defections left only Oregon State and Washington State as members in that summer of 2022. Apple presented a 5-year deal that would have paid $23 million to the 9 remaining schools, according to multiple reports. Soon after the league dissolved, as schools sought bigger paydays in the Big 10 and Big 12. The Pac-12 is banking on Gonzaga improving its basketball product as it goes to market. The conference is aiming to solidify itself as a top multi-bid conference outside the power structure with eyes on supplanting the Big East as a power. The conference projects 6 of its members as Quad 1 programs. The new programs can land the Pac-12 an average of 5 teams in the NC2A tournament each year, according to previous regular season results. Basketball media rights are expected to rise in the near future. The Big 12 is considering selling its football and basketball packages as separate TV deals in 2030. Commissioner Brett Yormark believes the conference has positioned itself into consideration as the strongest basketball product in the country after 70% of its members reached the NC2A men's basketball tournament last season. Nice thinking. Yeah. So that gives folks a little thought, a little stratego. Okay, folks, I think we've reached the crescendo. It is now time to bring you a little bit of something, but first, I got I had a little alarm. I got to get me a little drink. Be right back. And I mean a little drink. Oh my, yes, yes. Little drink. Substancia. Meanwhile, at work. Oi, oi. Ah, plain access. Must use. Okay. Mm. Yeah, a little charitable drink. A little charitable. Very charitable drink. Whoa. So low, low, low. We're lifting away, every way we go. Chop, 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 chop. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? Take this. What do we do? La la la, la la la, la la la. Lydia, Lydia, have you met Lydia? Lydia, the captain, please. You flips around, you almost you. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Feelings that I never, ever allowed. I used to. Okay, let's get back here now. Fill the ice trays after the show. Okay, we're back. I had to get a drink. You're doing well. I'm doing about the best I can do under the circumstances. Circumstances. Okay. Uh, to my friend Deborah, I'm on the air for a little bit. I will find out. I'll get a chat with you shortly, so stand by. Okay, speaking of standing by, let's get you up to date with a little bit we like to call a mishmash. Every little bit of excitement you need to just, you know, enjoy, as they say. Here we go from our friends at Awful Announcing. Even Michael Kay, who gets paid to call MLB playoff games for ESPN, recognizes the network is doing baseball fans a disservice by taking them away from their local broadcasters. The Major League Baseball playoffs are here, which means fans have to watch their favorite teams play their most important games of the season without the soundtrack of their local announcers. ESPN, TBS, and Fox offer a cast of national announcers during the Major League Baseball playoffs, and they're challenged with the impossible task of living up to local broadcasters. Thursday afternoon, Michael Kay, who calls games locally for New York Yankees and nationally for ESPN, now the local New York Yankees, are on their own little network called Sportsnet New York. They also have their games on WPIX or Pix 11. Michael Kay acknowledged worldwide leader in sports would be the worldwide leader in total sports network would be better off letting fans hear their local announcers. Quote, don't you think that it's only right the Met fans and Brewer fans get to hear their home team announcers on a secondary audio? You don't think Tiger fans would you don't think Tiger fans want to hear Jason Benetti and they don't want to hear Todd Callis on the Astro side? Don't you, that's right. Um, don't The irony of this rant is the fact that Kay was the national announcer tasked with calling the Astros Tigers wildcard series for ESPN. But that wasn't lost on Kay, who has the self awareness to know he wouldn't be the announcer of choice for Astros or Tiger fans. Kay said, well, I just said to what Kay said. Further, what Kay said, in this way, ESPN and Next Round, TBS, and Fox, they still get the ratings because you're still watching their show, but the bottom line is the people get to hear who they want to hear. Similarly, Boog Siambi, who's calling the Mets Brewers series for ESPN, humorously acknowledged fans would prefer to watch their local broadcast during Game 1. Rosenberg had a logical solution, suggesting fans should be able to select their local radio broadcast as the audio feed while watching the game on ESPN. For years, fans have gone through the hassle of syncing up a radio feed with a TV broadcast. Last year, however, Apple TV began offering fans the ability to watch the broadcast while playing commentary from either local team's radio feed. This would be an easy offering for ESPN, Fox, and TBS to adopt. Now, really, I mean, I know Mets fans would love to hear Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, and Ron Darling call a playoff run, but who wants to tell Hernandez he needs to work more if the Mets make the playoffs? The radio announcers are already working, so might as well let more fans hear them. Fans are used to watching their favorite NFL teams with national announcers. Watching national broadcasts of your favorite NBA and NHL teams is even palatable. But baseball is different. It's different because Major League Baseball fans are with their local broadcasters for about 150 of their 162 games in a season. There's a stronger connection between fan and broadcaster, and it's different because the sport is so regional. Los Angeles Angels fans aren't watching the Mets and Brewers, but Laker fans might watch the Knicks and the Bucks. If networks want to push their own broadcasters during the LCS and World Series, it's fine. Many fans won't be happy about it, but you can understand networks wanting to showcase their announcers during championship games. But in the early rounds of the playoffs, fans should have a more viable way of listening to local announcers while watching games nationally. And in fact, look at the NHL. They give the local teams broadcasters, TV-wise, the first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup, and then the rest go straight to the national folks. See? It's simple. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, when baseball games of your teams, let's say the Tigers, when the Tigers were on WDIV Channel 4 / WWJ TV 4 / WDIV Channel 4, they had the choice of, let's just say Larry Osterman, George Kell, or George Kell and Al Kaline. And they would do, I do believe, 2 rounds of the American League Division Series, and the rest would be done by NBC or ABC. They could do that if they wanted to. I mean, look what happened in Philadelphia when the first 2 rounds, or when the first round of the NLDS, ABC allowed Philadelphia, Phillies station at the time, which was Channel 17, to broadcast the first round of the NLDS. Certainly very interesting. Remember, folks, we told you that several baseball teams, 11 of them, that have their games on what will no longer be called Bally Sports, but FanDuel Sports. Well, the folks that own the what used to be the Fox Sports Net networks have said that if the 11 teams, which also includes the Detroit Tigers, do not agree to what we ask for, they're out. There will be no Tiger baseball on Bally Sports. There will be no Bally Sports. Hello, Chris Illich. Times are racing. Let's get your idea out there. Let's put, hey, you want a Detroit-centric, or shall we say a mid-Michigan-centric sports network? There you go. Start it up, pal. Start it up. Because we know Major League Baseball ain't going to hop. And you know, Detroit fans are very ravenous. So why don't you and Tom Goris get together? You guys are billionaires. Let's get that money parted together and start a Detroit or mid-Michigan-esque sports network. It can be on cable, satellite, or grab yourself a little local partnership with, say, in Detroit, WDIV or WKBD or WMYD, channels 4 to you want to get a partnership going with Fox 2, Channel 4, CW50, Channel 7, Channel 20, Channel 38. Get together and start up your own little Detroit-centric or mid-Michigan-centric sports network. Get together with Nexstar. That would be interesting, would it not? Yes. Okay, let's think about it. Well, the reason I say this is because St. Louis, you know, they have the Cardinals. Well, there are some television outlets in St. Louis that have an interest in airing St. Louis Cardinal games should the team seek out a new partner amid uncertainty of its contract with Diamond Sports Group, the parent company of Bally Sports Midwest. And I wish we can read more, but I don't have $4. One of those is the original network, KSDK. Anyway, let's see here. What we got here? Let's see. Yeah. Let's get you a little something about NASCAR that has been wrinkling up. We got about 10 minutes left officially, though the clock says 10:52. We're going till about 11:03. So let's get this done right. NASCAR drivers should receive Presidential Medal of Freedom for Hurricane Helene efforts, an ESPN analyst says. A NASCAR driver has been in North Carolina helping victims of Hurricane Helene. Greg Biffle has posted numerous photos and videos of the destruction caused by the hurricane. The 54-year-old has used his personal helicopter to deliver supplies and internet service to those who need it. He even located a stranded family while flying due to their use of a mirror against the sun. The efforts got the attention of ESPN analyst Marty Smith, who said Biffle should receive the highest honor for an American citizen. Quote, former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle should receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his ongoing and ceaseless heroic efforts in western North Carolina, using his helicopter and coordinating with others to save lives. Go to @GBiffle, BIFFLE, to see his amazing effort. Thank you, Greg, Smith posted on X, formerly Twitter. There's more. Only way we were able to find someone stranded in the mountains at the bottom of Steep Canyon. 6 attempts to land due to difficulty, but we got there, got him a chainsaw, EpiPens, insulin, chicken food, formula, gas, 2-stroke oil, and sandwiches pre-made from Harris Teeter before we left. The mirror caught their attention. The storm made landfall in the United States Thursday and affected the sports world. Two games between the Braves and Mets were postponed to a double dip on Monday that decided the team's postseason fates. Denver Broncos were staying at the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia due to back-to-back games on the East Coast practice on indoor tennis courts. Saturday's Appalachian State Liberty football game was canceled while the East Tennessee football team slept in buses since flooding halted its travel Friday night. Several owners of NFL teams also donated to the cause. And so did our friends at Fox Corporation. Okay. Here's another little supposed one. The 2024 regular season is now done, which also means that the details of the upcoming draft lottery are now locked in. Carlos Collazo, Baseball America, laid out all the details in a post Thursday morning. In an effort to reduce tanking, Players Association pushed for a lottery and the most recent collective bargaining agreement, starting with the 23 draft. The top 6 picks were determined by lottery held at winter meetings, with each club that misses the postseason having a shot at the top pick. Teams with worse records still have the best odds of getting the top pick, but nothing is guaranteed. 1 year ago, the Guardians won the top pick, despite having a 2% chance of doing so, eventually using that pick on a second baseman called Travis Bazzania. If two teams have the same record, their record in the previous season serves as a tiebreaker. In essence, since the White Sox are not a revenue-sharing recipient and had a lottery pick in 24, the rules state they can't pick higher than 10th in 25. That's despite a dismal 121-loss season that was easily the worst in baseball. The Athletics are a revenue-sharing club, but had lottery picks in both 23 and 24, meaning they can't pick higher than 11th next year. Those clubs will still have balls in the lottery, but they will be ignored if they win, which actually happened last year. The Nationals would have secured the first overall pick in 24, but they were ineligible due to having a lottery pick in 23. The draw was redone, which is when the Guardians got the top pick. So there you go. Playoff teams will be sorted based on their postseason results. Teams that lose in the early rounds pick ahead of those that advance further. Teams that are eliminated in the same round are separated first by revenue sharing status, and then it's revenue order of regular season record. It goes on and on. So, in essence, the White Sox sucky season continues. Okay, and after Trump criticized the NFL and their new kickoff rule, which I found cool, the NFL introduced the dynamic kickoff prior to the start of the 24 season, taking a page out of the XFL's playbook. But the new kickoff formations have not exactly led to increased returns. Front Office Sports noted that only 29.1% of kickoffs have been returned this season, only about 7% more than what it was during the 23 season. Former President Trump sounded off on the new kickoff rules in an interview with Outkick founder Clay Travis on Saturday. Quote, "Big-time college football is as big as the NFL. I don't know what they're doing with the kickoff return in the NFL, and I don't want to get involved in controversy, of course, but it looks so bad. And I noticed they had done that in college, and they shouldn't do it. And I think the NFL should go back, and maybe it is a little more dangerous, but I doubt that it's any more dangerous. It's football. I think they made a terrible mistake in doing that." On Tuesday, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell suggested changes could be coming to the rules. He noted that moving touchbacks up 5 yards could also be in play. "I think we'll have to make a few changes on the kickoff. That will, I think, lead to a lot more kickoff returns," Goodell said on NFL Network's Good Morning Football. He added that a competition committee meeting will be held next week. I kind of like the new kickoff. That is awesome. If they want to do a change, how about being fair to both teams in overtime? One team scores a touchdown, the other team gets the ball and has to do the same. They cannot kick a field goal unless the score is 30. No, that would have to be a touchdown. Unless the score, if the other team doesn't score a touchdown and hits instead of field goal, then touchdown wins. But a field goal and keep going until the overtime ends. 5-minute overtime. There you go. A very nice big game is right there under your seat. There you go. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. Mm. Okay, from Bleacher Report. You're going to love this. From Bleacher Report. On Tuesday, a group of prominent business leaders, athletic directors, and school presidents announced a proposal for a new college football super league. Ooh. Dubbed the College Student Football League, according to Justin Williams of The Athletic. The proposal would reorganize the 136 FBS schools into two conferences. The Power 12 Conference will be comprised of 72 schools drawn from the current Power 5 conferences, while the Group of 8 conferences would feature 64 schools from the current Group of 5 conferences. Group of 8 schools will have the chance to earn promotion to the Power 12 conference after a given season, but Power 12 schools would not face regulation. That means going down to a wimpy secondary league. Power 12 Conference will be split into 12 divisions and feature a geographical and results-based scheduling model to foster more competitive matchups while still preserving certain long-standing rivalries even between teams in different divisions. In the current proposal, for instance, rivals such as Michigan and Ohio State would end up in a different division. In fact, 12 prominent institutions, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma State, USC, and Oregon were split apart with one in each division. The season would conclude with a 24-team playoff. The goal of this new Super League, as Williams reported, would be to remedy that disruption and disorder within college sports and address the numerous legal battles the NC2A is currently facing, including the proposed House settlement. It would also aim to reduce the financial and competitive imbalance that so often defines college football in particular. Additionally, the CSFL would collectively bargain via a single comprehensive players association with the CST's proposal, which CST's proposal suggests could lobby in tandem with the league for a special classification from Congress, enabling athletes to seek collective representation without being deemed employees. That would almost certainly receive pushback from college athletes and their advocates, though the Players Association would potentially be given the power to negotiate compensation and other feedback on rules and governance. A salary cap for football programs could also be on the board, as could rules limiting players to up to 2 transfers in 5 years, per Williams. The new college football league would be a football-only setup, no shit, and would disrupt traditional conference ties in other sports. As a number of power conferences continue to consolidate the power programs in sports, most notably the SEC and Big Ten, a change to a more centralized system might be favored by a number of Power 5 schools on the outside looking in. Tuesday's proposal would significantly alter the sport, though, and is likely to be met with resistance for both current power brokers in college football and potentially some of the players. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thank you, BR, which is Bleacher Report. Thank you. Let's see. Anyone else? I don't think there's nothing else we can talk about. Anyway, Folks, that's going to wrap it up for the show. You've enjoyed, hopefully. But we'll be back tomorrow night, Friday night, with the usual amount of insanity, which means it's going to be a normal show. Thank you to Matt G, Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars and MCU, and Doctor Who. That should be changed almost immediately as far as most of the country is concerned. But hey, be true, be you, as I always say. That's going to wrap it up for us. And as we always do, like Harry Carey did on Channel 9 when he used to do the Cubs games, late Harry Carey, quote. The executive producer director of Steve Sporty Balls was Steve the Baxman Baxley. That was me. Our producer and equal host was Matthew the Wizard Nichols. And our associate producer was none and human trampoline salesman is the one and only Jay the Brain with 2 N's to avoid legal man with 2 N's because that's his actual last name, Jay the Brain Man. From all of us here who work our butts off to bring you this show on time or even late, I am the aforementioned Steve the Baxman Baxley saying from all of us, this has been a presentation of, wait for it, this has been a presentation of the L2 of This Fine Creativity Productions. I forgot the name of my own pseudo production company in association with the L2C Media Network. Bye-bye, bye bonds, and we'll see you tomorrow.